First forecast is brought to you by Store It at Home, rent to own portable buildings. Overnight tonight, another clear, calm, cold night. 38 degrees, partly cloudy out there and very chilly. The wind will only be around 4 miles per hour. So if we do get down to around 36 to 35, we could see some patchy light frost in some areas, but not enough to warrant a frost advisory or even a freeze warning, only getting down to around 38. Today, we started at 39. We got up to 63 degrees. Pretty average for this time of year, but chilly nonetheless. And these averages are going to continue to skyrocket over the next couple of weeks as those temperatures continue to warm towards spring. Of course, we're talking about warming temperatures over the next couple of days and even the possibility of severe weather for your weekend. I'll dial that in for you in just a few minutes. Your ABC 31 News starts now.
Welcome to ABC 31 News. I'm Scott Beadle. A homicide investigation is our big story tonight. Alexandria police are investigating the death of a 42-year-old man found on Bolton Avenue near Madison this afternoon shortly after 2. This is being treated as a homicide. They closed traffic from Bolton to Park to work on that investigation. They have not released additional details at this time. A man from Manny was killed in a 4-vehicle crash in Sabine Parish yesterday afternoon. He's been identified as 31-year-old Bradley Paul Webb. Troopers say it happened on Highway 6 near 476. They say Webb lost control, crossed the center line, and collided head-on with a Mack truck. The collision had a domino effect involving a sports vehicle and a pickup, but all the other drivers escaped with minor injuries. Troopers say Webb was not wearing a seatbelt. Retired state employees gathered today for a meeting, and one group, the Louisiana State Employees Retirement System, or LASERS, spoke about the development of a new plan to provide better benefits to future state employees.
This new generation of hires tend to be job changers. They move around, and that's fine. And what we found from our studies is that 70% of our new hires will not stay in state service. They will stay for a few years and they'll leave. And when they leave, all they will have is their employee contributions and no Social Security or LASERS pension to go with it. So what we want to do is provide more portability for them. We want to provide them with an opportunity to make more of their own investment choices. Senate Bill 14 will create a new plan for the new rank and file, just the regular folks who come to work for the state, starting in 2020.
LASERS will have a part in the upcoming legislative session, which begins on Monday. You can learn more about LASERS and Senate Bill 14 dealing with the proposed retirement plan at lasersonline.org. Rapids deputies arrested a Marksville man for attempted murder, saying he fired a gun into a home on D. Craig Road. 29-year-old Taj Archangel Williams is also charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Deputies say it happened on February 12th, but he was not back in this area until last week. Nobody was hurt in that shooting. A woman from Ball is arrested for using drugs around her infant children. 27-year-old Sasha Denise Marler is charged with cruelty to a juvenile, and those children have been removed from her home. Deputies say the infants tested positive for amphetamine and meth. A man from the Clifton community is arrested by Rapids deputies for cruelty to a juvenile and domestic abuse. He is 33-year-old Armando Magellan. Deputies say the Children Advocacy Center assisted with this case. Rapids deputies arrest a man for domestic abuse after he claimed to be a victim of a stabbing. 26-year-old Tredale Andrew Williams of Pineville is also charged with illegal carry of a gun. Deputies say that battery happened on Dupree Street. No weapon was involved. And deputies say Williams lied about what happened and his injuries. 4 people have been arrested in connection with a burglary on Washboard Road back on February 20th. 40-year-old Martin Wesley Watley of Pineville is charged with possession of stolen things. 34-year-old Tina Louise Watley of Dry Palm, 23-year-old Raymond John Ernest Green of Pineville, and 42-year-old Yolanda Lee Royal of Alexandria are all charged with burglary. Deputies say the biggest item taken was a dirt bike motorcycle, which they found at Martin Watley's home on Philadelphia Road. Rapids deputies arrested a Boyce man for theft in connection with a remodeling project that never got finished. Deputies say the victim on Hickory Hill Road hired 30-year-old Jonathan Michael Bell of Bell Home Improvement for that remodel. Investigators say Bell is charged with theft because materials and tools were sold to a second-hand store. And Rapids deputies used their Facebook page to track down a teen accused of theft and criminal conspiracy. Deputies posted video of a man and woman using credit cards taken in a vehicle burglary in the Plainview community. Deputies say they received more than 30 anonymous tips IDing the suspects. That led them to 18-year-old Peggy Alicia Cloud of Glenmora. They're still looking for Haley Rogers. If you have information, you are asked to call the Glenmora substation. Some area students took the Wings of Freedom tour of World War II vintage planes, including a Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress, Consolidated B-24 Liberator, North American B-25 Mitchell, and a P-51 Mustang. ABC31's Shar Thomas has the story from Natchitoches.
Central Louisiana students stepped away from their books to take the Wings of Freedom tour. They took a blast to the past back to World War II, where they got to explore and learn about aviation. Most of the students had never been near a plane, let alone set foot on one, but for 7th grader Hunter Laurent, it was a dream come true.
It really did inspire me because I never actually been inside a plane before. When I saw the inside of the plane, it really got me because I saw all the little components in it, and the buttons, the switches. It just got me into it.
While others got over their fear of planes.
It changed my outlook of planes because now I got to see the inside of one. I know what it is, and it's different.
The purpose of the tour is to bridge the gap between the youth and the generations that was before them by exposing them to what World War II vets had to work with.
The kids out here, they hear those stories firsthand from a World War II vet. They might tell it to their own kids in 10 or 20 years. They might join the military, become pilots, get into restoration, and make sure these same planes are flying in another couple decades.
If you missed out on the tour and want to explore, visit the website listed below. Shar Thomas, ABC 31 News.
History enthusiasts packed the ballroom at the Bentley Hotel yesterday evening to learn more about the Louisiana maneuvers. ABC 31's Joanna Phillips has more on how the exercises impacted the outcome of World War II.
Some may not be aware of the significant impact Louisiana had in the Second World War, particularly the central Louisiana area. Yesterday evening, the Rapides Parish Library presented a moderated panel discussion on how Louisiana helped win the war and the 1941 Louisiana maneuvers.
We're excited about the crowd that's come. Alexander, central Louisiana helped win World War II. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We have 3 of the top experts on the Louisiana Army maneuvers here tonight, Dr. Sanson, Dr. Barber, and Captain Moran.
In summary, the Louisiana maneuvers were a series of Army-level exercises held at sites in central Louisiana and surrounding areas in the early 1940s. The exercises involved over 400,000 troops. The panel discussion was held in downtown Alexandria at the historic Bentley Hotel, which holds some history from that period in time.
Much of the strategy after the maneuvers for World War II in Europe was planned in this building. This is a historic building.
And the panelists discussed 3 topics.
Why they picked Louisiana, how it changed Louisiana, how many couples met, Yankee soldiers and Southern girls.
One panelist, Dr. Jerry Sanson, professor of history and political science at LSU of Alexandria, is the author of a documentary about Louisiana during World War II. You can find it on YouTube to learn more about Louisiana's role in World War II and the Louisiana maneuvers. Joanna Phillips, ABC 31 News.
Local nonprofit organizations have the chance to apply for a community project grant presented by the Rotary Club of downtown Alexandria.
We are looking for projects that have a significant impact on the local community, and they are making a difference. We typically award $10,000 to $12,000, but we have the opportunity to increase that amount this year. There is an application on the Alexandria Rotary Club website. First form under the documents, they fill out an application and submit it to me, and we have a committee that will review the applications to award the funds.
Those applications are due by March 20th, and the grant recipient will be announced in early April. Well, now is a good time to begin getting your yard into better shape. On this edition of Get It Growing, LSU Ag Center horticulturist Dan Gale explains how late February and early March is a great time to trim some ground cover or add some plants to your landscape.
When we get to late February, it makes me think about ground covers, and there are two reasons for this. First off, late February is an excellent time to trim back your ground covers, to rejuvenate and refresh them. Even evergreen ground covers like monkey grass oftentimes get a lot of brown leaves built up in them over time. By shearing them back within a few inches of the ground, you can stimulate lots of fresh, healthy new growth and get that planting looking good again. As you've seen these plants right here, this is Aztec grass, has been trimmed back to rejuvenate it. Now the other is that this is a superb time of the year to plant hardy ground covers into the landscape. If you have an area that's gotten too shady and the grass won't grow, or an area where you think ground cover might add a beautiful landscape effect, this is a great time to do that. Now make sure that you look at the growing conditions. We have ground covers that are really good for shady areas and ground covers that are really good for sunny areas. So make sure you look at the growing conditions of the area so when you go to the nursery, the staff can help you choose the right kind of ground covers. Some of the most common ground covers that we use in Louisiana include Aztec grass that's used in sun to part shade with its bright variegated foliage. This is Liriope or lily turf, that's good for sun to part shade. Also, this is a Japanese ardesia right here, a good shade loving plant for shady areas. Monkey grass is reliable for large areas and is a great ground cover for shady spots. You can get it in a dwarf form. And finally, this is Asian jasmine, a great plant for shady or sunny areas as well. So you see you have lots of choices. Make sure you check your growing conditions before you go to the nursery. For Get It Growing, I'm Dan Gill with the LSU Ag Center.
And for more information on other lawn and garden topics, you can contact your closest LSU Ag Center Extension Service office or visit the LSU Ag Center website that you see there on your screen.
Good morning, Central Louisiana.
Good morning, America.
Look for your local weather updates during GMA. Brought to you daily by LSUA.
Only one doctor brings health right to your home. Every day is a new chance for change, and everyone can start right now.
Make an appointment with Dr. Oz. Check in for your daily checkup.
Temperatures out there still hovering in the lower 60s in a lot of locations. 62, sunny out there, and the wind calm. That helps our cause, making it feel quite nice. Feels like 65, even though it's 62 out there. And our dew points down around 25. So some dry air in place, definitely for this time of year in this month. March, not typically as dry. We usually see things start moistening up, and that will be the case over the next couple of days because we'll see actually some activity on the radar as opposed to what's going on out there right now. And if you can pick out a radar return, I'm going to say you're a liar because there's nothing on the radar anywhere close to us. That will change as we go through the next several days. Tomorrow, sunny, partly cloudy, but pretty nice. Another dry day as far as dew points go, and temperatures feeling quite pleasant in the upper 60s tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine. Winds should again remain fairly light. We will start to see the dew points creep up just a touch tomorrow, and that'll set the stage as we go into Saturday. We'll go from basically dry and nice to humid and a chance of storms, and the further north you go toward the Arkansas border, the better chance you're going to run into severe weather as well. That kind of trickles around as we stay through Sunday. We could even see some showers hanging around on Sunday, but we'll clear things out and cool things off once again as we go into next week. So much warmer tomorrow. That return flow in the high pressure system. The wind will be out of the south, but should remain fairly light once again. Still dry. No returns on the radar to speak of until we get late into tomorrow night and going into the weekend. Surface map for the weekend, still looking at an area of low pressure developing as it moves into Arkansas. And it's actually going to trend a little bit further south than what this map indicates. So our thunderstorms will be moving from north to south, a little weird orientation there along a warm front. That is where we expect to see the strongest storms as we go into and through the day on Saturday. The biggest chance coming Saturday evening where you see the yellow. So Monroe points off to the north and west. That's the greatest risk. Here, we're looking at a smaller risk, but there's still a chance of severe weather. And the best chance of seeing something is going to be heavy rain and wind gust. Everything else is relatively low. Can't rule out a chance of a tornado as well. We'll be really ramping up the shear, so we'll have to watch out for that. And that's all you need for tornadoes is shear. That's it. So we'll watch this for you, but overall the threat seems relatively low. Forecast tonight, 38 degrees, clear out there, nothing to worry about but chilly. 72 tomorrow, a very nice day on the way for tomorrow. The winds out of the south at about 5 miles per hour, so a very, very pleasant day. Then we're watching those storms on Saturday. Cooler temperatures back in the forecast for the beginning of next week. Scott?
Ross, thank you very much. Coming up, NSU softball coach Donald Pickett talks about the Demons conference opener this weekend.
To catch a killer, you gather the evidence.
There's blood on the screen.
And build a picture-perfect case.
One of you stabbed her 12 times.
Hold on, there, FBI.
Bones Weekends.
Weekends on KLAX TV.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Nick Frank. The NSU softball team is set to open up conference play this weekend at home against the Lamar Cardinals. The Lady Demons have won 3 straight heading into the series, and Coach Pickett says it's important to get conference play started on the right foot.
We can always expect them, both teams, to be very well prepared. Both coaches are veterans on each team, and they always prepare their athletes very well. We expect a fight on each court. We expect long matches on each court, and we expect to work very hard on each court in order to secure a win.
After starting conference play with a pair of wins, the NSU tennis team will hit the road this weekend for 2 more matches against conference foes. The Lady Demons will play McNeese on Friday, Nicholls State on Sunday. Coach Dubois says the Demons will need to be at their best in both matches to get the W.
Another chilly night tonight, 38 degrees. Some patchy frosts could form due to the light winds, but a beautiful day tomorrow. 72 degrees, mostly sunny, very, very nice out there. And then setting the stage for warming dew points. You see, we only get down to 57 tomorrow night. That tells you around where our dew points will be. Climbing up into the 60s for Saturday as storms roll in and are high on Saturday, 74 degrees. A few storms could be severe, so that's something to keep in mind on Saturday. Cooler temperatures return Sunday through Tuesday as we go back to the 60s and overnight lows back down into the 30s, but a slow warming trend going back into late next week, where hopefully we start to see things warming toward spring as the long-term models start to indicate maybe a flip coming.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Ross. Thanks for watching ABC 31 News tonight. Have a great rest of your evening.
Medical examiner.
Detective. Homicide.
I can't write you a prescription.
These are my day clothes.
Ding.
Then I had to chase this guy all the way down to Fenway.
We should do this again sometime.
Rizzoli and Isles, a perfect match.
Weekends 11 on KLAX TV.
When a case seems unsolvable, they see the incredible. Murder, motive, secrets. Bones Weekends.
Watch Bones Weekends on KLAX ABC 31.